AI Growth Labs. Today we are doing the part two of how to build AI-powered document processing system. So on part one, which was almost like 35 minutes long, we did cover the topics of what we have accomplished till now. So we created a couple of buckets with unique names and uniform access. We used the Google Cloud platform document AI processor for invoices. We set up cloud functions such as invoice processing cloud function, which basically what it does is it takes the raw invoices from the bucket, it processes it, and stores the results in the JSON format in the processed invoice bucket. And we did the testing with multiple invoices, so that was one good thing. Just going overall, all of our functions are working. The document AI processor is set up, the storage buckets is created, extraction is working. We also checked that the address processing is working. On that day, we did decide that like we'll be working on the address processing and how to add the latitude and longitude based on the supplier address. So today, our focus will be to just go over what we have done till now and finish this task, right? So let's just go back to the beginning and we'll just go to the buckets for a little bit just to understand what we have done till now. So the raw invoices test project day one is our bucket. Uh, and let me just expand this a little bit. Yeah. So raw invoices where we added all the invoices here. So you can see like you can download any of these and this will show you that yeah, let it open. So what this will show you, it's nothing but like a bunch of PDFs with invoice data. And how it shows up is like our cloud function or the invoice processor function basically processes the data and then stores that in the JSON format. So that's what like this is. So it will show you. So from PDF, we basically extract the data such as total amount, net amount, invoice date, total tax amount, receiver name, receiver address. So we do have the zip code as well from here, right? So now let's just go to check the code once. So we'll open the editor from here, and once it's connect to the Cloud Shell editor, we can see that where our invoice processor functions are. So this is our invoice processor function, which is basically our invoice analysis. This is our IPYNB file. So this is our later down the stream notebook, which we connect to BigQuery. So we'll go over that. But for this one, we do go through the project IDs and the processor IDs and where the output bucket are, all of this. This is nothing but this is our document processor ID, and we have the dataset ID and the table ID, and we do the convert date format, the clean amount, we process the invoice, which goes through like once it downloads the file, it processes the document. These are the rows which we want to insert in the BigQuery, and once these are inserted into BigQuery, we can it will print a message that like it's successfully inserted. So we can try and check that in real time. So let's just go to cloud and we'll be like create an invoice similar to this for company Caterpillar. And then what we'll do is we'll just upload an invoice. So let's just check Furniture Emporium, and we'll just add the invoice here in cloud. I use cloud, so if you guys are not familiar with it, like this uses this is a product of Anthropic. I love using it. Like this gives me wherever I face blocker, I'm able to come to cloud and like get the answers from here. So this is great. Like so it is able to download. So I'll download this file. It downloads in a different format though. So the only thing is like what you need to do is open it up with like either one of these and then just like control P or command P if you guys are using Mac, and then save it. So once you guys save it and just say it Caterpillar invoice, perfect. Then what we are gonna do is we are gonna go back and we are just gonna open up the console.cloud.google.com. And before I go into uploading this, I just wanted to show you guys like the BigQuery tables just to understand like how that is working. So BigQuery, we'll go here and we have like our project, so you can see that, and then under invoice data schema we'll use the version 1. I've created version 2 for improving the process, so I'll go through that later during this but if you guys see here, this is the raw invoices. These are all the columns which I have inserted in this code. Like you can see all of these columns are already present here, and then if you want to query it, then you can just do select star from, run it. It will show you all the results here with invoice IDs, invoice date, supplier name, supplier address, and you might see some blank. It's because like in some cases if it is the address is not properly visible or like it's not really understandable by this document AI processor, which is a great AI processor um, tool in GCP, then it won't show anything. Like it will just show you the blanks, right? Like, but in cases where it's able to figure out like what's the total amount, what's the net amount, tax amount, currency, the line items are stored in more or less in a JSON format within the column, and then it shows you the process timestamp. And then what happens is like processed invoice is nothing but like once you add the data in raw invoice and add like run a query, which I'll just go through that later, and then check that same processed invoice. It's basically the raw invoice table plus the longitude and latitude of the information for both supplier and receiver. I'll go through why we are creating this because it does help us in understanding the use case where we have like questions about like where the supplier is, where the receivers are, and does it make sense in cases of supply chain where you want your supplier to be as close to you as possible to reduce the supply cost. But that's like a completely different depending on the use case. In this use case, we are just trying to add these information here so that we can track some metrics. So that's why when I was going through like the IPYNB file for invoice analysis, we'll go through that. Like this does have some kind of analysis in it once our BigQuery table is processed, right? So just wanted to show that. So let's just go to buckets, and here for now we'll just upload this Caterpillar invoice, and let's see if this works. So this is my processed invoice, and you can see there's no like nothing is called processed Caterpillar here. So we'll go back and we'll upload the it here. I just want to make sure that like I'm uploading in the right bucket. So just one second. Yeah. So let me just upload the bucket in this bucket here. I'll upload Caterpillar invoice.pdf, right? Like so I don't need to run anything. I'll just go back and I'll just check whether this was able to process it, and refresh. And let's see, processed invoice. Yes. You can see that, right? It's like, so here processed caterpillar invoice, like let's see what it is able to. So it is able to gather like total amount, invoice date, net amount, invoice ID, total net amount, and like remit to name, right? Like, so this is great. Like it is able to get us the all the extracted information. So now what we'll do is I have some um, syntax written over here, so I'll just need to go through those because I don't remember those syntax. So okay, let's see, where are those? Okay, here we are able to um, okay, perfect. Understood. So let's go to the BigQuery, and here you can see that let's just query this raw invoices again. So if I remember correctly, this should have processed the caterpillar invoice. Yep, perfect. So I didn't have to run any syntax. Like the way how the process is built, like you upload an invoice or any document, like whatever information you have, and you want that in that particular format, you upload that in the bucket. You utilize that to run the invoice processing function, which is basically using the document AI processor from Google Cloud services. And what it will do, it will extract that information in a JSON format, and it will load that JSON data into the raw invoices table. And that's what this is showing. So correctly, this is showing us the correct amount. So if you sum this one minus this one, you will see the net amount, and then it will show you the line items, and processed is data as of today. Now to push this to processed invoice, I just have to run one small one small uh, syntax. So the reason for that is right now I was not able to automate it completely. So what I'll do is like I'll run it and I'll say that like, hey, give me all the give me all the, let's see, yeah, give me all the invoice IDs from the raw invoices file, right? And then basically like take that and put that in the invoice text ID, right? So I just have to copy without the dollar sign. So let's just do that and paste it over here. So the reason behind this is like you want the all the invoice ID. Wait, I didn't copy it properly. Control C, and then let me just copy it fully. Command C. All right, so you run this and you authorize it. So what it will do is it will basically create this invoice ID.txt file. All right. So while it creates this, then you write a while function in the geocoding, and you are gonna do this, and then it's gonna show you all the processing, and let's see. Let's go to open editor once, and then is we are just looking at the processed invoices. Let's go to the terminal, and where is that? Open terminal. I don't think this is gonna run, so let's just change it to geocoding function. Right, and now run this while ifs. Okay, let's see. Yep, so as soon as you do that, because my function is in geocoding function, I'll show it to you in the editor. So what this does is it will automatically start adding the invoices, which it gets from the raw invoices table, and then pushes it to the processed invoices table. So now let's go back to the BigQuery and let's look at the processed invoices, whether it was able to properly populate those. So let's go ahead and do that, and processed invoices. Okay. One. Okay, maybe I need to run this BigQuery again because I did not upload that in the BigQuery. Let me just go ahead and delete this because the first time when I ran this, it just ran out of, not from the actual folder. Okay, let's run this and let's run this again. 1, 2, 3. So this message ID is nothing but like which invoices it is processing. Like it has its own inbuilt IDs, like whatever invoices it is processing. So let's just see if it is able to process more this time. It already looks like it is processing more compared to previous one, because previous one it did not get the correct invoice IDs. So now let's go to BigQuery. Let's rerun this again. Voila, here you go. So you can see that like 61629 supplier latitude is this, supplier longitude is this. We can check that ourselves, and like latitude and longitude, and you can see 40.6918 and 80.588. So 89.588, something like that, right? Like, so 89.588, right? Exactly. So working correctly. I'm really not sure about like the minus and plus. I think this is east or west. I might be wrong. I'm not sure about that. But it is matching to what what the latitude and longitude should be. Let me just ask also why latitude is negative. Just to understand it. South of equator. Okay, perfect. So this is working fine, this AI powered document processing system, as you guys saw. And then let's go to the next step. So till now, like if we see the architecture, basically what we were able to do is we were able to upload a bunch of PDF in the cloud storage, which basically uses a cloud function, and the document AI processor built within those cloud function is able to convert that into the JSON format and then loads that into a processed bucket, which then is connected to our BigQuery, which is a raw process table. And after we add the supplier latitude and longitude using the geocoding function, it uploads the same information from raw table to process table, and then this can be utilized like in different maps. But like for use case, in this case, like what we have done is we have created a template in this, so you can see that. Let me just open Google Colab because that's where we can run it from. Colab notebooks. And this is my invoice analysis. Is the same code which I have uploaded. Um, and then you can see like I have already installed these, so let's just run this. So you can see it will start connecting to our BigQuery table, and it is connecting to the test project day1. So I just have to select all, authenticate. Perfect. Like, so it is trying to connect to the BigQuery, and I'm just trying to get all the data from processed invoices. So it already created a data frame, and if you want to check like what the data frame looks like, so you can just run this, and you can see that like all of this, right? Like if there are not too many, so we can just run the whole thing, and you can see the caterpillar is already here, right? Perfect. And in this case we are only bringing like fewer information. We are not interested in all the other information. And then you can start looking at like how this is getting utilized. Like you can calculate the distance, you can map the supplier locations, you can do distance versus amount, you can do time series. So as you can see, like it will show you supplier locations by invoice amount. So it will you can just hover over and see like print and design co is here, tech co is here, digital marketing pro is here, furniture emporium, build right construction, and like you can start looking at all these, like zooming into it. And then this is distance versus amount, invoice amount. What is the daily invoice amount? You can also change the chart however you want, but this is I just built just so that like we can have some visualization. This basically shows the regional transaction flow heat map, like where the most of the um, um, suppliers and receivers are, and this is like the amount per kilometer by distance. So either you can use this, either you can use looker. It does not matter like what the end goal is, in terms of like what tool or tech stack you want to use, as long as you know like what is your overall use case, how you want to build it. There are various solutions to this. So right now like we use the document AI processor, but you can use any of the Gemini models or any of like Anthropic models. Like it doesn't matter, like it should work. Right now we have not used the LLM context in any way. We are trying to get the deterministic answer rather than probabilistic, and that's what this is about. So for us, like this document AI processor is slightly expensive, but like it's cleaner. It is already tested on like thousands and millions of invoices. So we are like trusting this service, right? So this brings us to an end, and to this part two of AI powered document processing. What next? I think the next solution will be like, as you can see here, the things which are not automated yet. Like, for example, the raw to processed, or having two separate cloud functions doing two different things. So the goal will be in my next video, the goal would be that like I'm trying to build a Streamlit app, which is like I don't even have to log into the like I don't have to open up the bucket. I'm trying to create a Streamlit app where if I just upload the document, it should be able to go through raw to processed bucket and then raw to processed BigQuery table without me having to run that while if query or create that invoice id.txt file. That is, I think, like will be a cleaner solution, but for now this is a working solution. So really happy that this is working. Did have to spend some time on this, like building this. Like it took me about 10-12 hours to build it overall. And most of the times, like even if you try and build it using cloud or ChatGPT, the code more or less does not work. Like also, like even if you just use Gemini within Google Cloud, the code is not clearly correct. So you do have to spend a lot of time in understanding what is happening in each portion of the code and how you actually want it to process. So there is various like back and forth testing in this case, and um, like that's what we need to do, right? So for now I'm just gonna stop here, and like for the next call, as I said, like we'll focus on some Streamlit apps. There are some really cool use cases coming in. We also have some massive news coming out today where data stacks, I don't know whether you guys have used it, but data stacks has been it's a like a no code platform to build the AI apps. And like if you guys have not looked at it, like take a look at this StarDB and Langflow. Like this is really cool. I have used it just for proof of concept purposes, but like the accuracy and the knowledge base which is it is building, and the ease of which it is building is like amazing. So this has been acquired by IBM, and it looks like there's some good products going to come out from IBM now because of this acquisition. Similarly, I think one of the other companies, Voyage.ai, it has been acquired by I think another big firm. I'm not sure like who, but like it has been acquired. We can just check it, like who has acquired it, right? So MongoDB has acquired it. So as you can see, like there are like a lot of these companies coming which are really trying to improve the product, really trying to improve the overall ease with which like we can build agents, we can build all these knowledge bases, the chat bots, the insights into it. So really looking forward to how this area is gonna grow, and we'll continue to be in this journey together. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe Lightspeed AI Growth Labs. I will. I'm trying to build a location where I can share all the code and all the test files, so that you guys, if I have already built something, like you guys don't have to reinvent the wheel and you can just improve upon the process. So please feel free to add your comments in this, and like let me know like how if you guys are facing an issue. Happy to help, and have an awesome day. Thank you so much.